Welcome to Fourth and Forever, the flagship show of Roundtable Sports Network. Join hosts Dan, Richie, and TD as they break down the latest news and storylines across the NFL, featuring game predictions, breakdowns, heated debates, live Patreon callers, and everything in between. Catch Fourth and Forever every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern on the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Fourth and Forever, your daily NFL news and rumor show on the internet, presented by Roundtable Sports, real coverage from real fans. I'm sorry we are late. We were quizzing TD on what teams are in their own respective divisions in the NFL. Promise you, we're going to get him up to speed, man. Richie, what's going on, man? How you doing?
TD, name the four teams in the NFC South.
The NFC South has the Bucks, Panthers, Saints, and Atlanta.
There you go. That's the reason why I quizzed you on that division, is because that's the one you hosted last night, which you did a tremendous job at, by the way.
The screen right here, so that's why I was like,
you had it on the screen, so he's cheating, folks. So one day TD will remember, but you did a great job hosting last night. I wasn't able to watch it though, because I was watching my Knicks host that NBA Cup trophy, baby. You know what it is. We're NBA Cup champions. No big deal. A little taste of champions, man. It feels good, Dan Mitchell. You know what I mean? It's an in-season tournament. The Knicks are NBA Cup champions, baby. No one can take it away from me.
Look at that, man. What do y'all think of the playoff stash? You see it?
Now, do you shave it when the Bills lose, or?
Well,
so you're going to be rocking a bald head and a stash?
No. So the stash is coming off when I shave my head, for sure. But, for now, it's some good luck stash, man. Maybe we could steal the division with this bad boy. Damn, man. And so I'm not allowed within 20 feet of a Chuck E. Cheese with this thing on, but, outside of that, it's pretty solid. TD, what up, dude? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Sad day in Miami. We've come to an end of an era, but we're going to get into that.
We are.
But thank you to everybody who's tuning in right now, making this the best show midday here on the internet. My quarterback. Tua's gone. No, man, we gonna get into it. But listen, man, this is a beautiful day. Fresh beginnings. People are down in moments like this, but you should be excited because there's hope. There's a future ahead. Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, that's where I'm at right now. So just getting ready to be able to talk about, Dolphin football moving forward and all the exciting new changes to get to the top of the AFC East.
That is all it is. And guys, the show is powered by Vitamin Energy. Energy with all of the benefits, folks. This morning I took their pre-workout formula, and I got to tell you, wonderful workout this morning. It was back day. Okay. And yes, I can do pull-ups. Surprisingly enough, it was a solid little workout. Vitamin Energy has a lot more recipes than just your pre-workout. They have your hydration formula, vitamin B12. They have a bunch of different health benefits associated with their energy drinks. There's no sugar crash, about 7 hours worth of clean energy. Gotta love Vitamin Energy, the official energy drink partner of the Roundtable Sports Network. If, for example, you're interested, shout out to a couple of you who have already bought their variety pack. You can get yours as well. Solid stocking stuffer as the holidays are right around the corner. Use that link in our description and use code BOGO Roundtable to get a buy one, get one free. Shout out to our good friends over at Vitamin Energy. It is a solid day. But anyway, Tua. Let's talk about Tua, man. Now, TD, he was benched, and I put something together for you because I feel like people are asking themselves, is the Miami Dolphins just going to rip off the damn Band-Aid and get rid of Tua? Well, you know what? The clear example, Rich, I'm about to go on ahead and share my screen. Look at that. Beautiful. I ended up comparing what the Denver Broncos did to Russell Wilson compared to what it would look like if Miami did it this following offseason. As a quick refresher, when Russell Wilson was released from the Denver Broncos, they took on $85 million in dead cap. Now, a big misconception from people is, I want you to understand this. Dead cap is money that is already paid to the player. Okay? That money is not owed to him. That money's already been in his bank account. It's just equally distributed throughout the remainder of what his would-be contract would be. However, since they cut him at that time, they lost $35.4 million in potential spend that year. And the cap impact, same thing. Moving on to Tua, they have two options, or three, actually. Number one, find a team that's willing to take his contract on via a trade. I feel like that is a lot harder than any of us could imagine. I'm just going to throw that option out the window here. No one's trading for Tua. I think we would all agree. However, a pre-June 1st release, which I think would be cap mismanagement. I hope your GM wouldn't do this. You would practically double the dead cap implications from what happened with Russell Wilson. A $99.2 million dead. Some sources are saying closer to about 116. Cap savings, awful. I think it's like minus $64 million not able to be spent on this. But a post-June 1st release, you would split the dead cap in two. You would have a very rough year next year, okay? And in 2027, things get a bit better. But in 2026, you would only see an implication of $11 million less than what you would be able to spend anyway. Where Miami currently stands, they are at minus $2 million in available cap spend projected in 2026. So in my opinion, post June 1st, if you must get it done, is realistically your only option. TD, thoughts on the benching, and if Miami's just going to rip the Band-Aid off and pull a Denver Broncos?
Yeah, this isn't a case where you're going into next season saying, hey, let's go ahead and continue with this guy. This benching signifies they're done with Tua. You know, if you were going into next season, you let your starting quarterback finish the season because that's what starting quarterbacks do, unless they have a major injury that they're dealing with. So this is the biggest indication that Tua is no more in Miami. They will move off of him. It's just a matter of how they do it. Can they be creative and offer him in a trade package? I think that if he is traded, it's coming with other players. Like you're going to get the weapon package. You might get the take Tua and Waddle and give me that first and that or whatever it may be for a team. You're going to get a quarterback swap. That's the only creative way. And they are already starting the propaganda, which I am going to lose it if it happens. And I've been saying it for months now. Don't be surprised if you look up and the Dolphins and the Arizona Cardinals do a swap like Jared Goff and Stafford. Do not be surprised. That can very well actually happen. So, and I would hate it. So though that's another option, Dan. It's just swapping quarterbacks because you got a few in the league. Geno Smith, you got a few in the league that bad contracts that they gave them, and teams they can't get out. The only way you can get out is if you and another team are both in that same situation and you make that change. But I think that this is going to be a post-June 1st cut. I don't see it happening unless they force it, which is never a good thing if they're forcing it with another team. So that's what I have on it. The Dolphins are going to cut Tua, talking about a little post-June 1st designation. And we're going to enter into a new chapter talking about whether or not we're going to draft a quarterback or go after a bridge quarterback in free agency that might be available. That's the feel right now moving forward. But again, until we get a GM in the building, we really don't know anything.
And so whoever you bring in, he better be a wizard. Like, that's all I got to say. Like, you're probably going to have to say goodbye to a lot of very, I'd say, older contracts. You're going to have to create at least, I don't know, $20 to $30 million in potential spend. But keep in mind, like with each and every single NFL season, you're anticipating a $30 million increase in spend for every team in the league. I'm curious to see what moves he makes and what contracts they walk away from. Richie, what do you got, man? Talk to me.
Yeah, I don't think this is a guarantee that Tua's done, man. The season's done. They want to rest him up. They don't want to risk any injuries. What's there to play for? I mean, he's benched for the year. Did I hear that they're getting rid of him in the offseason? Where's that news? I didn't see it.
Yeah, but you're not going to bench your starting quarterback.
Yeah, you are. Why would risk
And your
injury
head
in
coach-
meaningless games?
But this isn't about risking injury. Your head coach have already said the death words for a quarterback. When you're hurting the team, he says, I got to go watch the film. And at first he said everything's on the table. And he said he's going to go with who gives the best chance to win. It's not about injury. It's about who gives the best chance to win. And that means they don't believe in Tua Tagovailoa anymore. If he didn't come out and say that on the podium, I'm right with you, Richie.
You said that today?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was confirmed today. It's the best chance to win.
Listen, Tua is struggling right now. They believe that in the offseason, they're going to be able to dig deep into what went wrong with Tua and fix him. They need a GM. They need more talent around him. So they feel like right now, and they're tanking at this point, man. That's coach speak. They got nothing to play for. You know what I mean? So they're going with Quinn Ewers. My only gripe about this is give Zach Wilson a chance, man. Why are we going with Quinn Ewers? What's going on?
And there you have it again. That's further reason why. Let's get a look
Come on,
at
man. Wasn't Zach quarterback 2? Now all of a sudden he's still quarterback 2 with quarterback 3 leapfrogging over him.
That gives you the answer, Richie. They're going into the future. There's no more Tua. And he also said this, Richie, the quarterback play on film was not up to standard. When it continues to be that way, I can't have it on the field. This is what he said.
Okay, my question too is,
was Zach Wilson or Quinn is who you're talking about?
Talk about Tua. That's what the coach said.
Yeah.
Okay, all jokes aside, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mike McDaniel's saying all these things. What's the news on him? Is Ross going to give him an opportunity to get a new quarterback and build this team his way and find somebody? Because he was brought here to make Tua into an elite quarterback, and guess what? He failed. Mm-hmm. He failed. Usually, head coaches and GMs do not get more than one chance at their quarterback spot. Maybe 2 chances, but definitely not 3. Is Mike McDaniel staying next year, and is he going to be the guy that brings in the new quarterback?
That's going to obviously be up to the new general manager.
Well, I would disagree because it's up to Ross. Because
Ross loves him. Ross loves him.
So it's not up to it's not up to the general manager, because now they're searching for a new GM. They got to make that decision before they hire the GM, TD, because you're hiring the GM either with McDaniel helping the search or him not helping the search.
It's not
going to be the new GM's decision.
It is.
That decision has to be made already.
It's going to be the new GM's decision. The owner has always put it up to the general manager, just like with the
quarterback. You don't have one. So that's the power struggle. You don't have a GM. So when you're searching for a new GM, I guess maybe you're going to keep McDaniel, not fire him yet, and then you're going to interview them, and the GMs are going to basically say, I'm either getting hired to have him as my coach or not. So Ross has to have that in mind, because I'm sure there's some general managers that don't want to be the GM with McDaniels as head coach. I'm sure there's some GMs that say, yeah, I actually like him. I want to work with him. So there's going to have to have a predetermined idea of if McDaniel's a coach or not heading into this GM interviews.
Say if you were to ask me,
that's not what's going to happen. They're going to hire the general manager to come in and decide what they want to do.
Yeah. Say that you were to ask me, because some organizations are structured differently.
Yeah.
Like in Buffalo, like McDermott calls all the shots.
Exactly.
Like, some people think it's Bean. Like some people think it's Bean, but it's truly
established.
McDermott.
He's established though.
Yeah. He's established when it comes into it. Say that it was up to me, I would give Mike McDaniel another shot, because number one, like he inherited a very limited quarterback. A very limited one that needed to have a simplified offense, that needed to have quality personnel on the offense.
He said he wanted to go
2023 season.
Tua.
Yeah, he wanted to build him. I honestly don't even think that we have seen what his play calling truly could be in Miami, with somebody that has better football IQ, somebody that can get past their first read, somebody that has the arm strength. Somebody like accuracy is great, but if you're just going toward your first read half of the time with your anticipatory throws, if you will, I still think that there's a lot left on the table for Mike McDaniel. I think that the sky is the limit as long as you can find somebody that he could trust more so than Tua. He was nothing but a limited prospect from the beginning. I see a couple of Tua-neers right now in the live chat saying, oh, dude, he was the best quarterback in 2023. I mean, sure, but you also need to acknowledge the fact that half of the time when he had those crazy numbers, you were going up against bottom tier defenses, massive mismatches on personnel sides with your greatest weapons against theirs. But when you actually went up against a quality secondary where Tyreek Hill and or Jalen Waddle were limited, it was almost always a loss. So I'm still kind of having a hard time understanding how anybody could be defending him at this point.
So it's a cult then, but
yeah, it's a cult.
You're in the you believe McDaniel deserves another year getting his own guy.
So deserve is one thing, and so I also wouldn't hate Miami if they did walk away from them, because I understand if like you're going to blow it up. But I do think that if you elect to stay with him, I do think that his play calling was not the issue at all.
Okay, let me push back and say, because I used to feel the way that you felt, Dan, but I can't get over this, and this is something you're not considering at all because you probably don't even know. As the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking to your general manager about personnel, closed doors, ain't no player hearing you. Shouldn't those conversations be the most raw, honest conversations?
Of course.
So McDaniel obviously has had the opportunity to be honest with the front office about Tua.
Yeah.
But I don't believe he ever was, and here's why. He was the reason Tua got the extension. Ross wasn't given the extension. Greer knew that. Even Tua came on the podium. I want to thank Mike so much. He was the real reason. He went to Ross personally and begged for him to get the deal done. That's malpractice and bad judgment. I can't have him even as the head coach because the information he gives the new GM is going to be emotionally driven.
Yeah.
And not just what it is. Who you have. He advocated for this mess.
Yeah. So I acknowledge that. And I also kind of agree with you. And so I was going to give him the excuse, right? Like he's a brand new head coach and he was going to be this sort of, I'm going to go along to get along type energy.
Even better with a better quarterback. But
yeah.
He lost me there.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus, I also think that he is a bit too much of a player's coach as well. I don't think that he really has. So I suppose me defending him was more so that I think that his play calling would have been much better if he were to have like a top 12 quarterback, rather than like where he was.
Dan, if he picks his own quarterback and that quarterback ain't working out, he's going to be even more inclined to defend it because now that quarterback success is legitimately tied to you.
Let's also not forget his role. He's not an offensive coordinator. He's the head coach.
He's the offensive coordinator, though, Richie.
I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. He's the play caller, but I don't evaluate him as just a play caller and that's cut and dry. That's it. Are you play caller and you do like that? I don't look at that. If he was an offensive coordinator, then what you're saying about, the play calling is not a problem. But he's not. He's the head coach, bro. So that's how I evaluate this, man.
Thank you.
Go get an offensive coordinator job if that's how you evaluate your guy as an offensive coordinator. You got to oversee operations on special teams, operations on defense, operations on offense, hire the right coaching staff. That's all on his shoulders. So I don't care if he's a phenomenal play caller as an offense. That means you're a glorified offensive coordinator, in my opinion. That's why, in my opinion, Robert Saleh, we'll see if he gets a second opportunity, but he's not built to be a head coach. He's built to be a defensive coordinator. You know how many times you see glorified coordinators get jobs and it's just not built for them? The head coach position is so much different than an offensive coordinator position. And hearing the play calling is good, that doesn't make me feel like he deserves another shot as a head coach. He should get an offensive coordinator job somewhere else. That's how I look at it.
I agree.
So I'll tell you what, from one organization to another that has had a lot of rumors flying around, I would like to transition over to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, yeah, because he on the way.
Let's talk about the Cincinnati Bengals here.
Yeah, no ammo.
We could start off with Joe Burrow, right? Who 2 games ago basically alluded to the fact that if he wants to keep playing, he has to have fun with it. Following game, he had the worst game of his career, the worst showing of his career. That's even including in college in recent memory. And these Cincinnati Bengals are officially eliminated from into the playoffs. Zach Taylor's seat is probably as hot as it has ever been. So I think my question becomes this. Where do you think Cincinnati goes next year? Is it more likely that Zach Taylor is going to get fired this offseason and they completely revamp the coaching look? Or do they do something drastic? And do they end up shipping Joe Burrow off to another team in the NFL for a haul of picks? I'm going to go with Richie on this one. Status of the Cincinnati Bengals and your predictions of what is to come. Genuine predictions.
So unpredictable, man. It's a giant mystery for me because Zach Taylor, he had a good season. How long ago is it now? What, 3-4 years? They went to the Super Bowl.
4 years ago, yeah.
And then he's been dealing with injuries. And he's another example of a really good offensive mind, but he cannot figure out the defense. He can't hire the right guy to run the defense. And he's got the quarterback that can't stay healthy. He's got the weapons. The offensive line's questionable. I think Joe Burrow questioning his whole energy is, in terms of being happy, is definitely alarming. And then he follows that up with just an absolute terrible performance. I wonder if there's something going on off the field or this is just really getting to him. I think there's a world where the Bengals have to evaluate everything. And the way I look at it is people above Zach Taylor, the owners that run this organization, in my eyes, this is my perception of at least what I think they're going to do. They're going to do everything they possibly can to build this team to make Joe Burrow happy. And they're probably going to go up to Joe and say, hey, you're the quarterback. You're the face of this team. We believe in you. What do you want to happen? Do you like Zach Taylor or not? Okay, what do you need? I think that's what they're going to do, because the last thing they want is to trade Joe Burrow. Trading Joe Burrow is the last thing they want to do, at least I would assume, unless they think that, resetting everything, getting all their assets, building this team from scratch is what they want. I think, blowing it all up from scratch is unrealistic, but we've seen crazier things happen in the NFL. On the flip side, if you go in the other hypothetical scenario, Joe Burrow's like, I want out of here. I want a fresh scenario. They fire Zach Taylor. Everything's ugly, and Joe Burrow wants out. Then we're going to have probably the most interesting offseason in NFL history, because you got so many teams hungry for a quarterback that would be in an arms race for the men.
Arms race, man. What's more likely in your eyes? And so he pulls an Andrew Luck and just retires, or he gets traded or demands a trade? What's more likely in your eyes?
I don't see him retiring. I just feel like there's still so much fire and passion in him. He's 29. I know the Andrew Luck thing came out of freaking nowhere, but I don't see him, man. He's a competitor. I just don't see a guy like Joe Burrow retiring. That would shock everybody. That would send ripples, and the NFL would be devastated, because you want quarterbacks like Joe Burrow happy and enjoying themselves. And, having a guy like him retire because he lost the joy in the sport, that's a direct look at the NFL. It really is. That'll fall in the league of what have we done to make a guy like Joe Burrow, and now Andrew Luck, that happened a decade ago, retire at that age. That's not a good look for the league. So I don't think that would happen. I think there's going to be teams out there that would love to come and try to save him. And New York City is the perfect market for Joe Burrow, just saying. He is the perfect personality for that. I'm just saying. Market-wise, throw the organization away and just in terms of who the Jets are, but he is built for New York City. Broadway Joe 2.0, baby. Bring him home.
Yeah.
His personality.
So Luck was 29. So Luck was 29 when he retired. Joe Burrow's 29 right now.
Oh,
TD, what do you got, man? How you doing?
Yeah, Joe ain't retiring, but they got to fire their coach. You got to fire him. Like Richie said about with the McDaniel thing, you're not just the OC, or the DC. You're the head coach. Your defense hasn't been great for years now. Here's what I think is actually going to happen. They're going to fire that head coach, and they're going to go get a Robert Saleh or Brian Flores. That's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to fix that defense, invest in it, and make sure they can get somebody who has a scheme that can impact them right away while Joe and these receivers are in this window. Because you can't move on from Joe or change this thing up right now. You put that core together for the next 3 years. You gave them receivers money and Joe money, and they still got about 3 years together left on the deals. So you just need to go. You need to get rid of the head coach. Go get you a tough-nosed, defensive-minded head coach, because the offense isn't the issue, and they've had a few struggles as of late, but you have no concern about them figuring that piece of it out. I think that's exactly what's going to end up happening here. They're going to hire a Salah or Flores to get that defense top 15, and they're going to be right back in an AFC championship game if they do.
Joe Burrow, where on earth will he go?
Might be Miami.
Might be Miami. It's that or Matthew Stafford after winning his Super Bowl retires Sean McVay, sends over like 4 first-round picks and gets Joe Burrow or something.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Something like that.
They would do it.
Oh yeah. And so McVay would do that in an absolute heartbeat.
He's one of 5, one of 6 guys in this league that you give everything up for because it's so rare to find.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of
just give him a decent offensive line, dude. Like that's been the issue. Like some people will say the defense, but like you have to remember back when Lou Anarumo had like his grasp on that defense, that was a great defense. I'd account more of the reason why Cincinnati made it to the Super Bowl that one year was their defensive play in the playoffs, opposed even to their offense. Like that defense was moving. And then for some odd reason, I guess that like Lou was getting a lot of pressure and to start these younger players rather than these like seasoned vets that they already had. And that's when their defense completely fell off of a cliff. The real problem is lack of offensive line. And you have a quarterback who has missed 3 of his 6 seasons with like massive injuries. Hell yeah. If I'm Burrow, I'm pissed. I'm like, dude, like protect my ass. Although I really can't like get on his side too much either, because he was the one that advocated for them to sign both Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So what do you want, Joe? Like, what do you want? Like, so this is a salary cap league, dude. Like, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, but even schematically, that defense is bad. Like that coaching staff you gotta invest. That front office need to invest in a better coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
People forget about that too. Coaches have to be paid, and how much you offer your staff is equivalent to how good of a coordinator or just a receiver coach or a DB coach, linebacker coach. All these guys work for a living, so you have to put some money in that area. And I don't know if they have the proper funds because that defense should have been a semblance of being better. You had a sack leader, like a guy who was like no.
Mm-hmm. They also can't get the defensive coordinator job right. That they hired a brand new guy, and he's another bad one. It could be a personnel issue. It could be a cultural issue.
It's personnel.
Now, when it comes to the quarterbacks, Joe Burrow is one. What other quarterbacks do you think is going to be part of the carousel in the offseason? Kyler Murray and Tua. TD kept saying Trevor Lawrence would be one of them, but I don't think that's going to be the case after now.
No, not now. I think he's okay
right now.
After he goes to the Super Bowl too, beating the Bills at home. But no, all jokes aside, Kyler Murray is going to go somewhere. Joe Burrow, we just talked about that. We'll see. Mac Jones is interesting. He's under contract for the Niners, but I could see a team target him as their bridge.
Geno Smith.
Yeah, bro. But backup territory. Who the heck is bringing in Geno as a starter?
He's got to ride off into the sunset, man.
There will always be a team that missed out on every quarterback, and that's whenever, like the Jets, we had Fields, so
we had no options but to bring in Justin Fields. I guess you're right, but
Kirk Cousins.
Aaron Rodgers, if he, I feel like he's either retiring or staying with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
The Chiefs now, what are they doing with Mahomes? Like, is Mahomes healthy for the season?
It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that because you mentioned Aaron Rodgers. Here's my take, right? I would not be surprised in the slightest because all this news where people are saying, oh, like Patrick Mahomes, he's really trying to be back by week 1. Give me a break. You were at the very least.
And he also, the knees are a little worse. It's not just an ACL to PCL as well, which is more.
Yeah.
Worse.
They just came out breaking news about 10 minutes ago. The Chiefs announced the final timeline is 9 months from now.
9 months.
Yeah.
So that is around September, but
that might just be
when he's eligible. I think he's going to be like playing probably October.
Yeah.
I'd say closer to November, and to be honest with you.
Probably.
And so I think he'll be November at this point. But that's not particularly a bad thing for Kansas City either, because if I'm the Chiefs, I'm kind of comparing this to the Patriots dynasty run, right? Where they first won their first 3 within the first 5 years, and then a 10-year lull, right? Where they just didn't get back into the big game, or if they did, they lost. And then in the final years of the Tom Brady era, they ended up, racking up 4. So my thought here, it would not behoove the Kansas City Chiefs to not particularly punt next year, but to bring in like an Aaron Rodgers to be your bridge guy, right? Like you're probably not going to make the Super Bowl in 2026. You might make the playoffs, like a 6th or a 7th seed. But I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea for Kansas City to walk away from Chris Jones, right? Trade him while he still has value for a couple of picks, right? Hopefully Travis Kelce doesn't want to come back. I don't think he will. I think he's finally going to retire after this year. Maybe walk away from some of these other contracts, have a bit of a retooling / reset year, and find yourself finally in the top 15 or perhaps even top 10 pick going into 2027 when Patrick Mahomes is truly 100% back. This is how I think that they actually become a sustained dynasty, by doing that exactly. Life handed you lemons, make lemonade. I think the season is over for the Chiefs next year, but in 2027, if they do it correctly, walk away from the correct contracts, I think they're right back into being that annoying, dangerous team in 2027. TD, thoughts on what the Chiefs, how they should attack 2026?
And let me just correct myself. He didn't tear his PCL, it was an LCL. So apologies. Thanks for correcting me in the chat. That's a big difference.
How they should handle it. The Chiefs are lucky because at least he has the Chiefs have options. Because you're going to need a starting caliber quarterback to hold down the fort until Mahomes is completely healthy, because at that position, you don't want to rush them back. You want to make sure they're healthy and they're good on it. And he got a lot of options. They can go get, a lot of these guys. Aaron Rodgers, like he could be a Chief. Bryce Young, he could be on the move. Never depending on how this ends up. We are not even talking about Daniel Jones could be a big candidate for the Chiefs to hold it down.
Could be a bridge guy. Yeah.
Mac Jones, there's a lot of options for him, Michael Penix. I mean, Justin Fields, I don't think he's going to be a starter anymore. But, yeah, there are options. So they'll go get them a guy who, with great coaching, a good run game and defense, can hold it down and keep them competitive, and hope that Mahomes can get back in November when it matters most and just hit the ground running and making a run for the playoffs. So that's one thing I'll say. The Chiefs at least have options. This team tends to play fairly well, even with a backup, sometimes. So it's not out of just absolute reach. But the Chiefs will be fine. They've lucked out for a long time in not having this happen to Mahomes. They've had their guy, and it's happened. The only other quarterback in the NFL that got better luck than this is yours truly, Josh Allen.
Knock on wood, brother. Knock on wood. I mean, he's built like a Mack truck, you know what I mean? He just takes those hits. You think Patrick Mahomes will be the same when he comes back from this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not next year, but 27 and beyond, yeah.
Think?
Yeah, it's not like he lives his game off of speed. So if you lose a step, He still can move, and I'm sure he'll still be able to move and improvise. He's a football player. He's a gamer. I always tell you about those gamers that can go on a street and just play football, don't have a playbook. Everybody run their routes. Who's getting open and just play the game. He's a gamer, so you never count that out as after an injury.
So what do you got on that, Rich?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a slow burn back next year, but I think like longevity wise, how old is he? He's like what, 28, 29?
He's 30.
Oh, he's 30 already? Yeah, I think he's going to still play well into his late 30s and be playing at a high level. I don't know if he'll ever get back to that MVP level, but I think today's science and medicine has proven that ACLs is not as much as a death sentence as it was back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Achilles is a little worse, in my opinion. ACL
shortening.
Yeah, ACLs, the timeline's better, the recovery's better, the science has improved. They've really seen a lot of data that's been able to heal it. And the NFL does have an ACL problem. I was watching the NBA Cup final last night, and Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, was talking, and he said something interesting, that he's actually in keeping his eye on the NFL ACL problem. Because he's always, in terms of how they're investigating the ACL issue, how can they, scientifically and like, the training staff, what muscles are going into these tears and how can they prevent it, all that type of stuff. So there's so much that goes on behind the scenes for these training staffs to be able to prevent it and also cure it and recover from it. So I think that he's going to be fine. I just don't know, knowing the Chiefs, Gardner Minshew, we'll see what he does in the last 3 games, but I can see him being their quarterback next year to start off the season. Unless they go after another guy, that as long as they're floating around 500 by the time Mahomes comes back next year, you never know, man. They could be back if they go all in the offseason. But I think I agree with your mindset, Dan. They should kind of look more 2027 in the future instead of try to go all in and win again next year.
Man, those Kansas City Chiefs, dude. Those Kansas City Chiefs. I want to switch over to the Baltimore Ravens for what appears to be the 7th week in a row since Lamar Jackson has come off of the injury report. He is a non-participant on Wednesday's practice. And I'm not lying to you. He is quite literally not participated in a Wednesday practice, has been limited for the vast majority of it for the past 7 weeks.
Who they play this week?
They play the Patriots. So I ask you this question. What's going on with Lamar? He's not showing up on like these like injury reports. Like he has like all these phantom injuries, etc. What do you think explains his production so far this year? Because he's not the same. He had 15 pass attempts last week. Thankfully, that defense woke up. But what's going on with the Baltimore QB? Because he looks nothing like he did last year. Richie.
Yeah, I mean, the injuries are definitely catching up to him. He's playing through them. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. Like I'm trying to ground myself on the Steelers because, again, it was the Miami Dolphins who they beat on Monday night. So it's not like, they're talking about the Dolphins here. You know what I mean? So you can't really evaluate the Steelers yet. I'm like, there's a part of me that watched them play, and I'm like, wait a second, man. If they get their steam and get their confidence, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Steelers control their own destiny right now. If they win out, it's their division, they win, and they go to the playoffs, and they'll be hosting a playoff game in Pittsburgh in the wild card weekend. So I think that's exciting for the Steelers, but the Ravens are still in it. Do they face off against each other?
Who?
Or they already did. Oh, yeah, they do. End of the season. Ravens, Steelers.
Is it the last game?
The last game of the season.
Wow. So if the Steelers lose, let me look up these schedules because that's a really fun thing to watch. You got 2 divisions that are racing for the division title because neither of them are going to make the playoffs, the NFC South and the AFC North, because they're not going to have a wild card team, and whoever wins the division is the only path to the playoffs. So the Steelers got the Lions this week. The Lions are desperate. They need to win out in order to have a chance. And then they got the Browns with Shador Sanders as their quarterback. Come on. We know it's going to happen tonight.
Steelers?
Yeah. And then the Ravens. So it's interesting, man. The Ravens got the Patriots and the Packers back to back. So I think the Steelers are in the driving seat. The Steelers need to lose to the Lions this week, and the Ravens got to win the next 2 games in order to make that Week 18 game meaningful. So the Ravens better hope that the Steelers lose one of those 2 games because the Pittsburgh Steelers controls their own destiny right now. But the Ravens got a little tougher road with the Patriots and the Packers, whereas the Steelers got Lions, which is tough, but then the Browns.
I did see that the Miami Dolphins, they did just release Matthew Judon as well.
Yeah, we cut Judon.
Damn. Why? Bad?
Same reason why the Jets cut Alan Lazard.
No productivity. I mean, he ain't doing nothing. I forgot he was on the team, to be honest with you.
All right, man. Thoughts
You guys got
people?
Steelers winning the division?
It's tough, man. It's tough. I just don't know what to expect from this team. I don't. I'd probably put the Steelers right in line with the same conversation as the Carolina Panthers, with worse weapons.
Better like in terms of winning their division, in terms of the schedule that I just laid out. Like,
yeah, I got Steelers winning that.
Steelers, Lions, and Ravens, Patriots this weekend.
Yeah. Steelers and the Lions. It's kind of tough. That's kind of tough.
That's going to be in Detroit, so it'll be in a dome. So I think that's favorable for the Lions because if it was in Pittsburgh, I feel like Pittsburgh are getting used to the elements. But I think
this is
going to be interesting, man.
It's going to come down to the last game between those 2 teams.
There's a part of me, and hear me out. What if Steelers win the division and Aaron Rodgers becomes that bad man?
You don't want Aaron Rodgers in no playoffs. If Aaron Rodgers goes to the playoffs, you better be considered because Richie, you watched that game, Dolphins game.
I did, yeah, of course.
You saw vintage Aaron Rodgers, but the version that didn't even have to throw a 25-yard plus pass. Like he orchestrated the game.
That's what I'm saying, bro. If Aaron can get into the playoffs healthy and that hand can staying away from hits, and they get into the playoffs with some momentum. I don't know, man. Like, don't sleep on Pittsburgh going on a run because it's all about who gets hot at the right time. It's not about what your record is going into the playoffs. When you get into the postseason, all bets are off. It's a clean slate. And they're going to have a home playoff game, too. They're going to have a home playoff game in the wild card round.
Y'all play around with Rodgers.
And that Bills-Steelers game, that was a really close game until they strip-sacked Aaron, and then it just all slipped on its head after that. That was a competitive game in the first half, so I don't know. Dan's like, that old man Rodgers got nothing on Josh Allen.
He's got nothing on him. He's got nothing on him, baby. He's got nothing on him. But
is there anybody in the AFC that you're like, Dan's like, Steelers, Patriots, Broncos, Chargers, all these Jaguars. We're the Bills. We're going to run through this conference.
Well, so I look at the current playoffs like right now, and like as far as any quarterback that I trust in playoff football, it's Josh Allen. And so I can't name a single QB that's going to be in the AFC playoffs that I trust more than Josh Allen.
But like there's a part of you think, I know you just faced off against Pittsburgh, but like 4-time MVP, Super Bowl champion Aaron Rodgers just becomes alive in the last dance where he has that last run and has that last Super Bowl before he retires. There's not part of you where he's like, bro, we've seen that bad man just all of a sudden lock in.
And that's saying, not man. Like the field ain't wide open.
Don't act like what?
The field isn't wide open in the playoffs. Like any team can beat any team. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you're just there's no way the Steelers going to run with Aaron in your eyes, Dan. You think they get bounced in the first round?
Seeing that.
Yeah.
Because they're facing off against the Chargers or the Bills in the first round based off of what it looks like.
Well, say that it's the Chargers. And so I think it would be closer. Because Justin Herbert is also playing with only one hand. It's 2 quarterbacks playing with one hand, right? And so the Chargers have an awful offensive line, and then I wouldn't give a lot of credit to Pittsburgh's offensive line either this year. So I would be curious. I don't trust the Chargers to go to the Northeast, who are used to the nice dome at SoFi Stadium and win a football game, but yeah, I mean, we'll see what's going on. As far as Houston, like, yeah, it is a good story. They are dominant, like when it comes into, so they're dominant like at home, but they better hope that they can steal the division from Jacksonville because they are not the same team when they're outside. It's not the same team at all. So I don't know. Solid defense over in Houston, but still a lot of offensive issues over there.
Am I wrong, or doesn't it feel like all the dome teams in the NFC? Who in the playoffs in the AFC has a dome? Denver does not.
And the Chargers do. That's
New
it.
England does not.
And the Colts would have, but yeah, I don't think the
I
Colts
guess the
are making the
Colts. I guess the Colts and the Chargers are the only ones. Because in terms of elements, you know, you go to the NFC, you got the Vikings, you got the
Houston, too.
Lions.
Yeah, Houston.
Houston's got a dome.
Yeah.
Because that always like adds so much elements to playoff football is the elements, man.
Yeah.
Elements. Who can survive in the elements? Northeast football.
That's NFC football. That's primary domes.
Yeah, but you got the Packers and the Eagles that are always in Chicago. Like that's NFC like hold energy as well. But
I thought that Chicago was talking about a dome, weren't they?
The Bills Stadium, is that a?
No, it's similar to Hard Rock Stadium.
Oh, okay, yeah.
As far as how it's designed, yeah, with the canopy over it.
Copycats.
These copycats, man. Hey, it's beautiful. Tell you what, man. Let's let some Patreon callers in and see what's going on.
Parks is up first.
What up?
Two things. Dan Mitchell.
Yes.
Stop. I just love how you just walking around here talking about that. You're not afraid of anyone and all that.
Yeah.
Dan Mitchell. Earlier in the season, didn't you say that you didn't want to play Lamar Jackson in the playoffs because you were scared that
so he's not playing in the playoffs.
I'm saying if he make it, Dan Mitchell, you're scared of them. Dan Mitchell, you're walking around here talking about that you're not afraid of anyone. It's amazing funny how y'all Bills fans, 90% of us sit here and say that Patriots are frauds, but you wasn't talking all the Super Bowl talking until you beat the Patriots.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a good team.
Okay. I'm glad you know that. Dan Mitchell.
Yeah,
so you shouldn't be afraid to play us in the playoffs at home, but But Dan Mitchell, you said you trust Josh Allen more, right?
Of course I do.
Okay. Dan Mitchell, do you know who Josh Allen have beaten the playoffs? The quarterbacks?
You're gonna lose that.
The problem is like quarterbacks don't play quarterbacks parts.
I'm saying, do you know the quarterbacks he have beaten?
Yeah, but like quarterbacks don't play quarterbacks, Sparks.
Do you know the quarterbacks he has beaten, Dan Mitchell?
Lamar twice.
Okay, Lamar twice. Who else?
Phillip Rivers. Great ball player.
Man, that was Phillip Rivers' last game before this Sunday. Stop that. Who else, Dan Mitchell?
I don't know. Why don't you remind me?
Skylar Thompson. Mac Jones.
Almost beat him.
Mac Jones. He beat Mason Rudolph.
Mm-hmm.
And he beat Bo Nix.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Mitchell, when he plays the elite quarterback, he usually loses. The only elite quarterback he has beaten is Lamar Jackson.
See, but where did those defenses rank when we played them, though? And the Denver Broncos are like the best defense in the league, and he hung sack 40 points on them.
Wow, and what happened the next week, Dan?
The Broncos game, we made it to the AFC Championship, so who did we play in that final game? Yeah, we beat Baltimore in the divisional round. Okay,
you beat Baltimore, Lamar Jackson. That's why you're afraid to play him this year. You hoping he don't make the playoffs. They're just like Dan Mitchell. We're not for to act like you wasn't walking around here scared to play these quarterbacks. You're glad Patrick Mahomes is not in the playoffs. You're glad Joe Burrow is not in the playoffs. You're glad Lamar Jackson is not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Dan Mitchell.
I'm saying there's no excuse.
I'm finna say this and I'm finna go, Dan Mitchell. Mitchell, I'm gonna be real with you. Don't think that it's wide open. Don't think that it's Baltimore's conference just because those quarterbacks aren't playing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you thought it was Buffalo's conference when Joe Burrow beat you.
Mm-hmm.
So don't think it's just your conference now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is it your best chance to go to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah. And somebody said this, and I'm finna go. Somebody said this on the last show on the AFC's Roundtable. Dan Mitchell, if you don't do it this year, I don't ever see you winning the Super Bowl with Josh Allen.
That's interesting. So for me, when it comes into the Bills, we have most of our key players coming back and under contract next year. And as long as we end up just like making a trade for a receiver, I know drafting a wide receiver, I feel like we're exactly where we are.
The trajectory of Josh Allen, there's a quarterback in the league right now that's active that he is going to replicate.
What's that you said?
There's a quarterback in the NFL that reminds me of Josh Allen, and Josh Allen's going to have a very similar career path as him.
Okay. Who?
Matthew Stafford.
No, I knew you was going to say that. Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl.
With another team, TD.
Oh, you think that? But Josh Allen going to be a Bill till he...
Josh Allen going to be an all-time.
We said that about Matthew Stafford. Look, that continues to be.
Bill, and then there's going to be a point where the Rams, just like they had to make a tough decision. The Lions, had to make a tough decision, getting rid of their face of the franchise. The Bills make that decision. He goes to a team and he wins a Super Bowl with another team, man.
I will tell you what, that is my greatest fear.
It's never happening. He is Buffalo.
Yeah, exactly. I try to tell myself that, but I'm still telling you, like, my biggest fear, my biggest nightmare would be that exact scenario playing out.
Stafford was Detroit. You not forget that, TD? He was all they had, bro. He was fantastic for them.
No, they still got Eminem.
They still got Eminem.
Wing.
Hey, what Buffalo got?
Chicken wings.
Yeah.
We got wings, man.
I got the Sabres.
Have wings and some blue cheese, brother. We got it all, man.
Man, listen, boy, you talking crazy now, Richie. You gonna get us in trouble. Listen,
yeah, I know. I mean, that's not going to happen. It's very, very unreal. The Bills would be moronic. I mean, I'm talking about like later in the year, like he's in his 35s. I'm talking like when that would happen. Still no Super Bowls. But
I'm gonna do Josh wrong. He gonna come to my.
Nah, then he's coming to the Jets, baby. Come on. DF Forever is up next. What up, Dwayne?
Parks just made me laugh. I needed a good laugh today. Thanks, Parks.
What's going on, man?
By the way, Parks, who is the first person I saw calling New England frauds after that game? And that same person sat there laughing while he said it. Could it be one of you three right now? Could it be TD?
They all
when I was watching TD live, he did call him a bunch of frauds.
They lost.
While he's sitting over there laughing as Parks complains that people call New England frauds. Which way is it, TD?
You know what
I think bad happened? Wait a minute.
It's TD should be the enemy, not me.
Tua
he should be the enemy, Parks.
And tapped out. DF forever. I'm out.
Let me answer that real quick. The Patriots were frauds. But one thing I'll tell you, if y'all play the Patriots in the playoffs, you're not gonna win that game. You gotta avoid the Patriots. There's two teams I believe the Buffalo Bills gotta avoid. It's Houston and the Patriots in the playoffs. Because if you play the Patriots, it's probably gonna be in Foxborough for get back. In Houston, I don't know what y'all problem is. I think y'all have a team than them, but y'all
I don't know. So normally I would agree with that, right? Like, so when it comes into a divisional matchup, very difficult. It's very hard, and to beat a team twice in your division, it's exceptionally difficult.
But one of them got
that was even why, and even when Tua was hurt and we played Skylar Thompson that playoff game, I didn't want that because I was like, damn, like. This is a divisional matchup. Yeah. And so I'd agree with you. So I feel like Houston, say by some world, where Houston ends up being the 7th seed, for example, and Buffalo's the 5th, and we somehow end up meeting at the AFC Championship and it's in Buffalo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give me Houston all day. It's going to be like 5 degrees. It's going to be snowing all over the place, and that team sucks. But a 5th seed Buffalo going into Houston for the 4th seed. Yeah, I'll be sweating a little bit.
You better be. We got Lino up next.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, Lino?
I'm always confused on why every week, week in and week out, it's gang up on the Bills as if Bills should have no confidence because we're doing what we need to do. Like, I'm confused. We beat Joe Burrow. We beat the Steelers. We beat Lamar Jackson in the regular season. Like, why shouldn't we feel confident if we play, other teams? I'm so don't understand that. But, it is what it is. Everybody want to hate on us. We're down with that. I just don't understand how TD is more upset, about the Patriots than he is about his sorry ass Dolphins. But, what can I say?
Why would I be upset about the Dolphins? What happened today means that we're a day closer to winning the AFC East.
Who? The Dolphins?
Today signified new changes coming, and that new change could elevate us to the top. Look at Denver.
TD, your whole franchise is done for. Like, one, you're going to be in cap hell for a good bit while if you're going to get rid of Tua.
We were done for. Not if we get a rookie quarterback.
You're not going to get a good rookie quarterback, TD. Y'all didn't lose enough games for y'all to get a good quarterback. The Jets are going to get a good quarterback before y'all.
No,
you're not that good.
You don't know that.
Purgatory.
You know how I know this? Because next week, when you get on your own radio talk show, it's going to be a different speech, TD. This is what you do, Mr. Flip Flop.
Bo Nix was drafted right where we're about to draft from.
You're not smart enough to draft for Bo Nix. You're not smart enough to draft Bo Nix.
Only Richie, the only person I know that was high on Bo Nix. Nobody had him being a playmaker, like a great quarterback. One of the better quarterbacks, at least.
TD, I would not buy stock into the Bo Nix thing because that was a deep draft class where 5 quarterbacks won the first round. There's not going to be 5 first-round quarterbacks this year.
This is the deep one. We just don't know.
No, it ain't. It is not deep.
We don't know it.
It's a top-heavy quarterback class, and you're not at the top. That was
you need a quarterback.
Yeah, we're at the top.
You're not at the top, Richie.
Yeah, we are.
Top is top 3. Do you have a top 3 pick right now?
Not yet. We're not gonna win another game. Aaron Glenn just officially announced Brady Cook starting again, and we're going to keep climbing up. And we have the ammunition to trade up if we wanted to.
Nobody doing business with y'all.
So what are you talking about? We got the ammo. Who everyone wants to do.
You're gonna have to spend the ammo in the draft. Y'all like
we're gonna trade. You know what I hope the Jets do? Trade next year's Jets first round pick, so I don't have to deal with people with the meaningless win debate. That's what I want. That's my dream. If you're going to trade up, trade the Jets pick next year. But stop with the Bo Nix comparison because that draft class was deep and this one's not. So it's not going to work out.
Jalen Hurts was drafted late.
Lamar Jackson was drafted late. Patrick Mahomes was drafted.
Right. Tom Brady was drafted late.
Shador Sanders
was drafted
late. Shador Sanders, man. How about that? Josh Rosen.
What was Josh Allen drafted again? I forgot.
7th overall. Still no Super Bowl ring for that draft class.
Except for not yet, bro. Wait for those Seattle Seahawks.
Allen in the class.
Ooh, those Seattle Seahawks, baby.
Could you imagine a Josh Allen, Sam Darnold Super Bowl?
Oh my goodness.
Sam Darnold might be better.
Bro. I mean,
I'm not even allowing that. I'm not even allowing that. You have made a career of shitting on Sam Darnold. You know?
Yeah. I would argue, I know we will probably save the preview for tomorrow for Thursday night's game. I would argue the Seattle Seahawks are the most complete team in the NFL in terms of on all phases of the ball.
0 questions asked. Very good team.
Like as a collective team, they are dominant on special teams, on defense. They're having a little lull right now on offense, but what we've seen earlier in the season, I'm not really concerned about that to their slow starts, but they're as complete as a football team they can get.
So what is the Rams' issue?
Rams, I feel like, are not as good on special teams, but they're just as good. I mean, I'm not saying the Seahawks are the best team in the NFL. I'm just saying a complete on all 3 phases of the rock. Even Sean McVay said that himself. Sean McVay was like what he was saying about them, but I'm excited for Thursday night.
With Adams might be out for a couple of games as well.
Dagger.
And with Puka is the best wide receiver they have, like by a country mile. But
okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that game.
You don't agree with me?
No, I don't disagree. It's just, I guess the problem for them, it's still not going to be an easy path.
Well, you guys can check out Sleeper Picks to get a 100% deposit match up to $100 by using our code RTS. Link at the top of the description, folks, to sign up today. to get your opportunity to sign up for Sleeper Picks. Big shout out to them. If you guys have not checked them out by now, what are you waiting for? You got Thursday night right here coming up with the Seahawks and the Rams, the game of the weekend, in my opinion. And don't forget, we got Saturday footballs back finally. I love Saturday football. We got
Me too, dude.
2 games on Saturday. I love Saturday football. The Jets are never good enough to be at that slot, but maybe one day.
Oh, man. I thought that we only have 1 game on Saturday.
2 games. We have 2 games.
Who's the other one?
Forgot. It's Bears-Packers Saturday night, and then there's a game before them.
And there's Eagles-Commanders.
Yeah, Eagles-Commanders.
And by the way, we haven't even talked about like how much Netflix got shafted. And for the Christmas Day games, like Netflix played $100 million to carry 3 games this year.
Mhm.
Okay. And these are the 3 games that are going to be on, right? Cowboys and the Washington Commanders with Marcus Mariota and a Cowboys team that maybe is getting the playoffs. Lions and the Vikings, which I suppose should be okay. And then a Broncos and a Chiefs game with Gardner Minshew as the starting QB.
Wow.
They got destroyed, bro.
Well, it seems like the NBA is going to retake the Christmas throne because that's what the NFL has tried to do. They tried to steal Christmas away from the NBA. That was the NBA's day.
And here's something to consider on a higher level when it comes to the NFL. This is not good news for the NFL because when they get back to the table, can they get another $100 million from Netflix for the salary cap to keep going up? Or does Netflix say, hey, man, we want the same package this time 70, or we're going to be out. Find another. Because that's a risk you take as a big corporation investing in those games. They are probably not going to get the return.
Oh, yeah. No way. But say that Netflix doesn't want anything to do with it. I promise you Hulu would step up, or like HBO Max would step up in a second.
Well, Netflix now owns HBO Max.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
If that went through, yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So we'll see. If you guys want to check out RotoWire, they also give you an opportunity to get 15% off with the code RTS, the ultimate fantasy football tool. Huge shout out to RotoWire. As always, sign up today, and they will help you leverage your sleeper picks and all other daily fantasy picks. Big shout out to them as fantasy playoff football continues. We appreciate everybody tuning in to this show on 4th and Forever. We're going to wrap it up. We got AFC East tonight, so make sure you guys tune in, 7 p.m. EST tonight. But, yeah, we're going to wrap it up right now. Peace out, everybody. We love you, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Peace.
We're out. Oh, wait. Before we leave, Super Chats. Lakers in 5. Hashtag Smoke Bob. Lakers, Tony. What are you doing with the Lakers? Richie trying to make us think Tua coming back. He's coming back, Flicks. Just wait for it. I want McDaniel as Bills OC. We'll see. Congrats, Richie. We'll see your Knicks December 31st. Knicks NBA Cup champions. No one can take that away from us, baby. No one. How about that? Best team in the NBA. Quinn Ewers knocks off the Pats. Week 18. Go Fins. Oh, my God. Can you imagine that? Last I heard, Danny Dimes will be back for week 1. That would be crazy. The question is, what team will he be part of? The Colts? Are they bringing it back? We got all offseason to talk about that. We love you guys. See you tonight.